Hi everybody, I just finished off with Kahoot here really quick. I want to thank everybody. I had a couple people already asked me about how I did those emojis and explain everything for the Orion Space Shuttle mission as well as the Pluto flyby. So I thought I'd make one on the Apollo 11 landing really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this up. I'm going to go right into explain everything. It's $2.99. It's going to be $3.99 shortly for both Android and iOS. So I'm going to go right into it. Give it a second to load here. I've been doing a lot with the iPad today. So here are my previous ones I did here on the Orion Space Shuttle, which is the new shuttle program that is beginning, as well as the Pluto flyby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a brand new one and just do the Apollo moon landing. So I'm going to hit new part, and first one is I'm going to go with black because we're out in space. So I'm going to do that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the menu key. I'm going to hit my letters, pop that up, click on it, and once I'm there, I'm going to go right over to my emoji keyboard, and I'm going to pick the moon here. Now I'm actually going to do a little thing because I was doing a little research about the moon landing, and so I'm going to go with a gray line here. I'm going to move this over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pinch this bigger. I'm just going to make this bigger. So there is the Apollo. Oh, hi Nikki, how are you today? I haven't seen you in a while. So I'm going to get the moon ready. So here's the moon. And now my next trick, of course, I apologize for the glare over here. I'm going to see if I can move this over a little bit so I get a little glare off in that thing. So I have my moon here. So now I have to make the Apollo landing coming in right here. I'm using Explain Everything, Nikki. So I'm going to go right back into my lettering. I'm going to my emoji keyboard. So my first trick is I have to make the main Apollo shuttle. So to do that, believe it or not, I'm going to go to my emojis, and I'm actually going to go right over to, where are you hiding? I'm going to go right over here to my sound one. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to expand this. Now you see that it's moving with that? I don't want this to move, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this. I'm going to hit my eye. Hold on a second. I'm going to lock this in place so that way this doesn't move anymore. So now I can move this around. So my first trick is to get the landing module going right. So I'm going to do this. Now here's the trick. The landing module, when it came off Apollo, came from the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around. So I'm going to hit my eye again. I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to go to flip up and down. So I'm going to do left to right. Get off of that. Shrink this down so I can see it. So there's the lander. So I'm going to hit this again. Move this over. This takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it going, it goes very well. Okay, I'm going to hit my zoom out again. Now, if you notice here, I've got the lander and I have the moon. What I want to do is I want to have Earth over here. So my next is I'm going to pop in Earth. So I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to head over to my Earth globe here, and I didn't do a thing. So I'm going to do this, expand it a little bit. So there we go. So now we got, first of all, we have the Earth, the Apollo lander, and of course now I have right here, which is the moon. Now the trick is getting the landing module together. Now some people always ask me, how do I put these together? Well, there's a little way, because you can layer everything here and explain everything, and I'll move over the iPad a little bit so you can see a little better. So I'm going to layer this. So first of all, I'm going to zoom this down a little bit, and then I'm going to hit the A again, and now I'm going to get a picture that looks similar to the Apollo landing for the Eagle. So there's a couple of ways I could do this. My biggest trick, however, is I want to get the space shuttle, just a little thing. And of course, as we all know, with it had a very interesting shape to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go right over here, and I'm going to hit the blue car. Yes, I am picking a blue car. You're going to find out shortly. I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit, and right here. I'm going to move the blue car. So here's the blue car. So first of all, it's blue. So you can, when I'm going, here's Earth, here's the orbiter, and then of course here's the moon. So now I've got to turn this blue car into the lander. So first of all, I need to get a couple more emojis on here. that look like that. And the easiest way, believe it or not, is go back to those sound dishes I had before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do 2 of these. I should put on Do Not Disturb when I'm doing this. So now I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it now. So I have 2 of these. So now, once I get that in place, I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to tag this one. And I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to flip it left to right. So as you can see, I made a little bit of a mistake there. So I'm going to just hit my back button. Get that back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the I again. And instead of left, up the down, I'm going to do up the down. Boom. Now it's in the right place. So now I just need one more for the module. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another emoji. I'm going to do my speakers again, but I'm going to do a different one here once I find it. I do this long enough, you think you get it figured out, but anyhow. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to move it over. All right, since I don't want, the reason why I haven't locked these, people ask me, is because I'm trying to make it so if there's any mistakes, I can easily move them. And I don't want to make the mistake. So now, there's that part. So now, we got the lander. So now, I've got the top of the orbiter. Yeah, John, I know. I should have, but this one was centered as a different one instead of these two, which were to the left and to the right. So I picked that one. I know if you go to a thing like this one, it does recent. So I've got that now. So now I've got to turn the rest of this car into the lander. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You either can do another A and look for something that resembles part of the lander, which in this case is a bathtub. I'm not kidding, a bathtub. You're going to find out in a second. Now I'm going to go back and do, like you said earlier, John, and do recent. So I'm going to go to recent. So there's where's my bathtub? Well, either you'll see what I'm talking about in a shortly, what I'm doing here. So I'm got to the bathtub. There's my bathtub again. Shrink that. Like that. So now I've got this first part here. So now the car is slowly starting to look like the lander just a bit. All right, there we go. Bring that away. So now I've got to get rid of the blue hint here for the lander. So watch what I'm going to do. Very interesting. Oh, yeah. So now I'm going to click up here. And I'm going to go take care of my lander issue, which is pretty simple. I'm just going to pick another bathtub. I'm going to reposition the car just a little bit, so that way it's fitting just a little bit better. You see what I'm doing, everybody? So now if I do this, it connects the main board, which looks like the original Apollo part. So now I've just got to hide the rest of the blue part of the car in here, and this is actually very simple. So after all, this was a U.S. mission. It was the flight to the moon. So what do we, of course, need? We need the American flag. back couple pieces to fix my bathtub. So the bathtub's right there. So now I'm going to zoom out. And then what I need to do is now I'm going to just group these guys. Now I did this one really quick on the fly. If you take a little bit of present right over here, you're actually going to get that pretty soon. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, one small step for technology, one giant leap for student learning. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Apollo mission. I'm going to sign this off. I'm going to save it right here as a picture. You're welcome, John. All right, give it for the save here, and then I'll show you the final crop. So that's finished. I'll just go right over to photos. Click on this. And I'm just going to crop it really quick with my edit button here. You can do this on an Android device too with Explain Everything. I'm just doing an iPad. I work with things with iPads. I really have it. So there we go. I'm going to hit done. And ladies and gentlemen, the moon landing is all finishing. Yeah, very soon is version 3. So there it is, guys. I made that completely with emojis. There it is. It's the Apollo 11 landing on the moon using nothing but emojis. Pretty cool, eh? All right, thank you for watching.